Mark, there's always music. Ugh. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, whoever's there. I'm here. Myself a little reorganized here. Ugh. Reference binder tangling up all my stuff. Hey, Billy. I still have all my pencils or my markers and stuff bundled together from while I was traveling. We'll fix that right now. My eraser back in the designated eraser spot. My extra lead in the designated lead spot. Spread all the pens where they will routinely fall down, and I'll comment on throughout the stream because I never put them in a better place. And let's grab some paper and let's fix the music because I always forget to put the window where it wants to stay playing. There we go. So we're drawing Moon Knight tonight. The season finale drops at midnight tonight. I don't know if I'll watch it tonight or if I'll watch it tomorrow, but I will definitely watch it. I'm enjoying the show. Billy, I know you've started it. Have you watched any of it yet, Mark? Okay. I'm waffling a bit on which version of Moon Knight I want to do, but I think I know, so let's just do it. Adjust the volume in my ear here a little bit. No, but I did consider drawing a knight in shining armor showing its ass and calling that Moon Knight. I actually did legitimately consider that, but I am not going to do that tonight. The suit version is, in fact, the way I'm gonna go. I kind of like the Mark version as a character better. I just think I like him, the person better. But I really like the Steven suit because it's so different for a superhero, you know. And I'm gonna draw him in kind of a Spider-Man-y type pose. I even have a Spider-Man drawing here for reference. I'm not gonna imitate it exactly, but I put it together. I almost commented on the drinking comment, and corrected you, but I decided to leave it alone. And the only problem with this, let's draw him a bit bigger. I want to give him fairly spread arms, but not super spread, so I can get away with a little bit bigger. Why do you say that? I don't think necessarily. Well, okay, if I was doing the Mark pose, I would say, or Mark suit, I would go a little bit more Batman-y, I think. I did consider doing a configuration with both, but I kind of I have something somewhat in mind, which I'm not 100% married to, if I'm being honest. But I have something kind of in mind that will work better with only one character. The only reason I say I'm not married to it is because once I draw the character, I might decide I don't have the room to actually squeeze this other element in. But we'll see. Maybe I draw the Steven suit now, and when Season 2 drops, which hopefully there is a Season 2, I'll do the other one. Who are your favorite versions? I'm assuming from these comments, Mark, that you have been watching. Which is your favorite suit, and which is your favorite character? Between Steven and Mark. Assuming, of course, there will be no bias by the fact that your name is Mark. I assume there won't be. I don't have bias towards people named Dylan, but a lot of people seem to assume that I would, so... Whoa. Is that don't know as far as which I should draw, Billy, or what your favorite is? Also, I already know what I'm drawing, so you guys aren't converting me here, just so you know. I didn't make up my final decision until right before I started drawing, but I had a pretty good idea. I drew a pose just like this recently with one of the fairies. Yeah. Okay, now I'm kind of digging this. My only thing, I think his legs are a little too symmetrical. I think I'm gonna lower one down a tiny bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. What does he like about the smart suit, Mark? Because what makes it my favorite, I think, which I already said, is just that you so don't expect it from a superhero, you know? And the mummy-ish kind of suit is cool in its own right, but it's just a little bit more standard, I guess you could say. Oh yeah, I like the mask too with the stitching that goes down the middle. Took me only actually recently realized that it's different from the other one. I always thought it was just the hood kind of threw off my perception of it, but that the mask was the same, and then I realized, oh, it's actually not. Depending on how you look at it, what I'm going to do tonight might come off as colored, even though there's not going to actually be any color in it. How's that for intriguing, am I right? I think I might try to convince my parents to watch Moon Knight. I think they might dig it, and the fact that it's not directly connected to any other movies or shows they're going to need to remember will be a good selling feature. Apparently, Oscar Isaacs actually came up with some exclusive weird deal by Disney standards to not be pre-committed to other appearances and stuff, which at first I didn't quite believe, but it turns out it's not that he won't do the others, it's just that he wants script approval after his experience with Star Wars, and that actually makes total sense. Just throw that Star Wars factor in there. I told you. I don't know. I'm still not sold on the leg. I might adjust the leg a little bit more. In fact, actually, now that I say that, I better do it now before I go any farther. I almost wish I drew his head a tiny bit bigger, but I like the way the head looks. We're gonna foreshorten this leg a little bit more. That's what I'm gonna do. Not to make it less Spider-Man-y, it's still gonna be pretty Spider-Man-y, but just want to get a little bit more asymmetry in it. The pose is actually kind of Batman-y too, because when he crashes through the skylights and stuff, as he's been known to do. Fuck it, I'm gonna make the head bigger. Happy as I am with that drawing, it's gotta be bigger. Is your mom still here, Mark? Or is she back home now? I know that was at least a couple weeks ago, but it's a long trip. Maybe staying for a while. Been known to happen. Let's actually bring this head down a little bit more. Sink it in the shoulders a tiny bit more. Okay. Oh, she lives on the island. I was thinking she was still in, that she was actually still back in England. For some reason, I thought you had said that, but clearly I was wrong. All right, let's try this again. Oh shit, how'd she break her hand? That's good to hear, Billy. Yeah, I kind of fear, yeah, I don't know. He seemed like he was down for it. So, you know, if he has a problem with the script, they might just work more on the script to keep him around, you know? I think he was pretty. Apparently, he's a big X-Men fan in the '90s, watching the cartoon as a kid, and so he was really excited to play Apocalypse. But then, that version of Apocalypse didn't really go so well. I think he kind of signed on sight unseen, out of excitement for the character and on the strength of the other Bryan Singer X-Men movies, the first two X-Men and then Days of Future Past, and then that didn't really go so well. And then Star Wars, he was so excited to be in Star Wars that he begged JJ to keep his character alive, apparently. But then, so he could do more, but then those sequels kind of went sideways as well. And so I think he just a little burned. Fell over on a walk. Well, that sucks. Did she not realize it was broken until she got home? Hopefully she didn't make it any worse by, like, using it and stuff in the meantime. Although I guess presumably it hurt, so I guess she was probably avoiding using it too much anyway, but the reference I'm using, by the way, is actually 2 Moon Knight action figures. They were the only ones I could actually really find. It was hard to get a full shot from the comic or from the show. I wasn't really too married to doing specifically the comic or specifically the show. But I'm noticing some texturing on the suit that I didn't know it had. Assuming these toys are accurate, but they look pretty legit. Kind of winging this texturing a little bit. I might even make it even more subtle when I ink it, we'll find out. Didn't hurt, really. Well. You're not buying these legs? In what way? Like the anatomy of them, you mean? Or his ability to do this in the suit? I mean, I'm pretty sure this is fairly accurate, Mark. Do you mean you're not buying him in that you don't like the pose as an idea, or that you don't think it's physically possible? What's too expensive, Billy? Just really not digging this whole Spider-Man-esque pose, are you? Well, you got me wondering. Let me give it some thought here. Oh, gotcha. Sorry I stepped on the joke there, Billy. How do you feel about the legs, Billy? The pose is actually kind of inspired a bit by, like, even though I kind of used Spider-Man as my reference because I knew I could find a good similar pose, it is actually inspired from the show when he jumps off the roof in, like, season 4 or whatever, and then his cape flares out and it's got the shape of the crescent moon. I guess it's season 4, I meant episode 4. As far as anatomical accuracy, I am pretty confident in these legs. It's really just whether or not this is the best pose to go with. I'm giving it some thought. I'm not. I'm taking the note. I just haven't decided exactly because I don't want to stray too far from this. This is kind of what I had in mind from the get-go. But I can make some. I can possibly make an adjustment. Give him the Mickey Mouse gloves. He's got the white gloves. I don't think they have the 3 lines though. The holdover from vaudeville performances. That so many cartoon characters have. Pulls these beat 'em sticks out briefly in the one episode. Maybe we'll get to see him use them in the finale. But I'm pretty sure this is a thing from the comics. I haven't read a Moon Knight comic yet, but I have looked at some stuff, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Does he? I don't know if you stand corrected or not. You just Billy asked if you define real. It's not necessarily disagreeing with you. Do they bend like that at the knee? Yes. Here, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Actual Spider-Man. I keep him on standby for posing references. We're gonna recreate, because this action figure brags about having so many points of articulation that you can kind of get him into whatever pose you need. So, we're gonna do that. So he's got... holding the pose. So we'll ignore the arms. The arms are pretty much set the way I've drawn them anyway, but got this kind of pose going here, right? At this angle. So let's see. Bearing in mind I am exaggerating some stuff for cartoon purposes. Let me just see, I'll define a few features a little bit more here. Just define the knee. I mean, it's honestly pretty close to what I got there, I think. But here. A little bit. Like that with the leg. Narrow it down a little bit more. I have, yeah. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna keep this leg as is. I'm gonna mess with this one a tiny bit though. I don't know what to. I'm very intrigued. I'm definitely gonna watch that movie, but the part that I'm kind of curious about, I'm unclear on, is like, is it an actual biopic of him, or is it more a parody on biopics using Weird Al as the subject because he's known to parody other musicians? Because there's some stuff in there that, like, I can't imagine Al on the walking around the stage shirtless like that. And if he did do that at some performance, I really doubt he was as cut as Daniel Radcliffe is there. So I'm not sure how serious we're supposed to take it. Like, even a serious Al biopic, I'm sure would be funny because it's Weird Al, right? But how are we feeling about the pose now, Mark? I haven't changed it a lot, but you saw my reference here. Bear in mind, there will be pants drawn on him. Yeah, I'm all for that too. I'm almost more excited about that because I love Al. Well, we're gonna call Spider-Man the action figure from 2004. The expert here, I think. But yeah, no, I'm all for the parody as well. And like I love Al. I don't know that, like, I don't think he's had the struggles that a lot of musicians have had. So a biopic might need to be a parody for him to really make sense, you know? exposed sock because of this awkward angle. Yeah. And then all the accordions come up. Now, the part that I'm a little less confident. It's funny too, because Daniel Radcliffe, he doesn't really look that much like Al, and yet he kind of looks a lot like him at the same time. It's weird. Yeah, we're gonna try to do a crescent here around him. Do I have anything bigger, I wonder? Let's see. Ugh. This bigger? Oh, it's actually smaller. Might have to go with this one. Film canister, maybe. 1 second. Well, yeah, especially if they are going for a parody vibe, for sure. Let's try the film canister. Ooh, that might be perfect. Now I'm just waiting for when one of you asks, Dylan, why do you have a film canister? Yeah, but I'm not in the film program, and who uses film canisters anymore? You having one is a lot less surprising to me than me. You know what? I almost might want to use the smaller one. Or do I? Nah, alright. How do you guys feel about using compasses to draw circles? I've never been a fan. Hey, JC. Have you been watching Moon Knight? Yeah, JC, what the hell, man? Alright, let us ink. Cool, cool. Season finale drops tonight. I don't have any morning classes tomorrow, so I might stay up and watch it tonight. We'll see. This sounds so much like Sum 41. Although it's a Christmas song again. What the fuck? I'm sorry. Are you gonna hate me if I ask to put off Uncle Iroh by one more week, JC? Because there's something else kind of topical I want to draw for next week. I guess that's true, Billy. I actually think Iroh will be a fun one to do, so it's just that I had 2 on my own to-do list that I was purposely saving for specific times, and one of them was Moon Knight, and then so it just suddenly occurred to me like, oh wait, the best time to do this is this week because it's the night of the finale basically, and then I realized the next week is something else, so. Well, thank you, JC. I hope there was more than just me to like about the program, though. I mean, I know you said one of, but it sounded like a good compliment to me. Maybe a backhanded compliment at best to Foundation. But I love that awkward pause from Mark. And that you left him to last on your little rundown there. Wow. Now I'm hurt. So JC, I guess the class that we're going to get next week in comics is your class, right? It just doesn't have you and Matt and Natalie? No, I know you will, but yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Have you been prepping the term 5 group? Also, the fact you're in term 5 already boggles my mind. I don't understand how that happened. Time has no meaning. That means it's been almost a year since you finished Foundation. Yeah. Ah, I see what you did there. After you pointed it out to me, I mean. By the way, I've been thoroughly enjoying Moon Knight all the way through so far, so this is not really a complaint. But that last episode I thought was so cool the way that it was done that it kind of made me wish there were, especially knowing there's only one more episode left, it kind of made me wish that all the episodes were like that. Because I would gladly sit through 6 full-hour episodes of him just untangling his memories and us learning how he got there, you know? I concur, but I like that about it. Well, I mean, I say full hour, but like hour by TV standards. Like if there were commercials, it would be an hour, you know? Mark, what did you think of that last episode? Are we in the same boat as me? Would we be down for more like that? Hey, June. June's up. Yeah. I might stay up for it. I haven't decided yet. The only thing that would keep me from it, JC, is if there is some sort of conflict that I can't get out of. Like if it coincides with a VFS, with a foundation grad or something, then that might be a hard sell, but I will do my best to attend. And fun fact, outside of foundation, where I have a bit more like personal investment, because I know that everybody, the writing grads are maybe the best. Like, well, the writing grad and the classical animation grads are pretty cool as well, but I'm assuming, June's up, that you're all caught up on Moon Knight as well. Thank you, Billy. You hear that, Mark? You hear it? I did not. That was completely out of nowhere. I was actually as surprised as you are. Maybe. Well, what day of the week is your grad? On a Friday? Then you're probably good. I can probably manage that. And what is the actual date again? Because the foundation grads are usually on Wednesdays, and this past term they were on a Thursday. But if you're on a Friday, we should be covered either way. August 19th. Okay. Yeah, I should be able to handle that. Yeah, you mentioned. But you said that about Foundation as well, and then look what happened. I had to guilt you into saying something, and you barely spoke. Okay, that means there's actually a story. I don't know if I realized that. Well, I think at the time I kind of suspected because it seemed like such a sudden turn in mood, but oops. Ah. There is tea to spill, huh? Am I right to assume it was specific to people within the film stream? Because I feel like I would have picked up on some vibes if it went outside the film stream. But maybe not. Maybe I'm completely wrong. All right then. I was actually just about to say, but feel free to also allude to nothing if you want. And I looked over at the screen and you'd already done that. So I don't know much about the Moon Knight comic. I'm told fans are have been kind of disappointed in the show because of differences. But one of the things I heard was that Mark is the more predominant personality in the comics, whereas in the show it's been more Steven. But I kind of have a feeling that by the end of the show, by the end of the season, it is going to be more Mark. So I feel like they're getting there. They just haven't gotten there yet, and people need to calm down. But there might be other things that are bothering them. Does anybody else know? I know that you said you kind of knew the comics a bit, Billy, but I don't know if you know enough to really dissect what might be. I think I said this last time it came up on here, but like, some fans will lose their shit just because you change a font or a color in the costume or something, you know, so gotta take those criticisms with a grain of salt sometimes. I'd be down for that. JC, were you here when I mentioned what his deal is apparently with Disney is? Apparently because of his kind of shitty experience with contractual obligations with Star Wars, and with his role as Apocalypse not going the way he wanted to in X-Men Apocalypse, he signed some like unique deal where he's open to more seasons and more movies and potentially appearing in other Marvel properties, but without any contractual obligation to, so that he can hold out for script approval, which is pretty unique because you know, they usually want to lock people in for as much as they can get away with. But he's a pretty high caliber, well-respected actor at this point, so it's not that shocking necessarily. Do you mean in the show or in the... Because it kind of... The show is implied that he's the dominant personality, but the way the last episode ended, I'm thinking here might... Or that Steve was... That Mark used to be and now Steve was. But the way that episode ended, I'm thinking... Mark is going to be the dominant one again. That's my guess. We will have to see. Also, we have a couple more viewers than we did when we started that conversation, so hopefully we're not spoiling anything for anybody. I think they probably will. Whether Johnny crosses over, I don't know, but I think he will. I mean, I think he is supposed to exist already within that universe. He's just not meeting the other characters in person yet. Oh, okay. Then we'll leave that subject alone. So have you read the comics, Mark, or are you just kind of like aware of them by proxy? Because there's some comics that I haven't really read, but I kind of know the gist. Other comics I have read and know extremely well. Some comics I've read and don't know jack shit about, even though I've read them. So. By proxy. The one thing I will say though, JC, is like I get where you come from. I don't necessarily disagree, and if the crosses over with something else, I'm going to be definitely excited to hear about it. But I do kind of like the idea of having some one-offs. You know, like I feel like um, the more required viewing there is behind some of these things, the less accessible they become. And even though I like the bigger universe, there is something kind of satisfying about a self-contained story. And there's plenty of people in our universe that I've never met, so he can exist within the MCU and not actually interact. Yeah, I don't think he's supposed to be not in the universe. I mean, like, I think he's very much part of the MCU. He's just not necessarily actually encountering the other characters. Ink, ink, ink. Well, but I mean, but the only reason that Daredevil's unique though is because he came from before the Disney Plus was a thing. But I mean, like, the other Disney Plus TV shows are using characters from the movies to begin with, right? And I kind of feel like if Daredevil crosses over, like, is now being integrated, considering he's integrated with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist, doesn't that kind of mean that they are also part of it, whether they come out and say it or not? Also, when Matt Murdock says, "I'm a very good lawyer," I love that. I might do a bit more texture on the vest. Looking at my reference over there. I feel like I'm being abnormally delicate with the way I ink this. I don't know why. I tend to ink these types of characters a little bit quicker, I feel like, usually. It's really big, broad, round shapes that tend to be slow. Whatever, it's cool. I think the biggest thing with that, though, is just the fact that they established officially that he is part of MCU canon, but I got spoiled ahead of time. Yeah, that's true. Is she Madam Hydra? Is that who that is? Sounds good, JC. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, no kidding, right, Billy? This guy, man. If you're still with us, Junesup, are you gonna stay up for Moon Knight? Might actually do me some good to actually force myself to stay up to watch it, because I'm still a bit mildly jet lagged. Massatland was only an hour ahead of Vancouver time, but I was also getting up really early while I was there because of all the light in the rooms, because it was getting so bright so early there. And so I keep waking up at like 6:30 the last few days since I got back. But maybe if I stay up late enough, I'll recalibrate a little bit. Who knows? Cool, cool. Yeah, I went just with rock. As the playlist. Actually, speaking of that, I'll tell you guys a Mexico story from my trip. So my parents have been there since January, so they like, you know, kind of do the lay of the land pretty well. And they took me to show to this bar where this live band was playing that they knew I would like because classic rock is my thing. And so they just do covers of old classic rock songs. They're called Rex, and so they're playing stuff, and we're a really good band, doing a bunch of stuff, and this one guy requested Johnny B. Good, and the guy was like really adamant, like the singer was like, oh, we can't do that one, man, we'll do, because he also requested a Guns N' Roses song, and they're like, we'll do the Guns N' Roses one, but like really don't know Johnny B. Good very well, and like it's not one that we do, you know. And the guy just like would not let it go. He was like, Johnny B. Good, Johnny B. Good. So, and he puts more money in their tip jar thing, and he just keeps going on, Johnny B. Good, Johnny B. Good. So they play a ZZ Top song, and when the song starts, the singer guy writes something down on a piece of paper and holds it up to show the two guitarists, and they both, as they're playing, they notice the song, or the note rather, and they just kind of nod to each other and like, okay. So they get to the end of the ZZ Top song, and the two guitarists just like riff for at least 5 minutes, just kind of like take the ending of the song and just roll with it. And while they're doing that, you can see the singer guy is actually reading the lyrics to Johnny B. Good, and he's kind of like singing them to himself away from the mic so that we can't hear. So he's actually like learning the song on the spot, and then once they finish the ZZ Top song, they play Johnny B. Good, and they did a pretty freaking impressive job considering they'd never played it before. Because I guess the guitarist had kind of done it a bit. If you're a guitarist, you probably know your Chuck Berry fairly well. But I was very impressed with that. Just the balls to even try it, honestly. Even if they had failed, I would have been impressed. It was good. Probably did me a lot of good to have a break from the drawing table. Much as I enjoy this stuff, I do have a tendency to overdo it, as I think we all know at this point. Like I said, didn't sleep enough probably because of the lighting scenario, but overate a lot. Ate a lot of really good food. Went on a kind of catamaran trip one day, which is usually a major party scene, but there was actually barely anybody in it. Apparently, I came right at the end of the main tourist season, because they sometimes get storms and stuff in late May and going into June and stuff. So like a lot of stuff was closed down. A lot of people were leaving. Okay, the part that I'm terrified to ink now. This crescent moon. I don't want to actually trace the thing again because I don't like not being able to see what I'm doing. Here, I'm actually going to do this in a thicker... have I watched? Finished Ozark. Really liked Ozark a lot. I watched Choose or Die. New-ish horror movie on Netflix. Wasn't thrilled with that one. I like the premise a lot. It's kind of like a little bit like The Ring, but with a video game, which makes the weirdness of watching the video in The Ring like more interactive, kind of, and it affects your real life. And I thought it was an interesting premise, but I think the premise was a bit better than the execution. And yeah, some of it was genuinely creepy, but it also kind of didn't really go anywhere, I felt like. How about you, Billy? Now you might be thinking, Dylan, you're done, but you're wrong. Definitely getting close, but not quite there yet. Thank you for the follow, Pugny123. Also been watching Gracie and Frankie in the background while I draw, or Grace and Frankie. If they ever do Madam Web in a Spider-Man movie, they should get Jane Fonda to play her. That's what I'm working on. I have watched it, yeah. I really liked it a lot. I might even try to see it again in theaters. Have you watched it, Pugny? I'm assuming, since you asked. Yeah. I think there is talk about doing Madam Web, Billy. But if she's the star, I feel like they're probably gonna want to go younger. But Jane Fonda actually looks a lot like the '90s era aging Madam Web. I have, yes, and I think I saw it. But I'm second guessing myself if I've seen the entire thing. Yeah, Hazbin Hotel. It's a crowdfunded pilot too, isn't it? Like, they're still hoping to go somewhere with it, I think. Or maybe they're crowdfunding the whole series. I can't remember. Maybe it did. I can't remember what the scenario was with it. By the way, Pugny, I have thought about maybe doing an Everything Everywhere all at once drawing on the stream sometime. I don't have a specific idea in mind necessarily, but I very much like the movie, and I've always liked Michelle Yeoh ever since Tomorrow Never Dies. Don't get any ideas, Mr. Bond. Without getting into any spoilers, what? Actually, well, never mind. Won't even go down that road. You know, the one thing I'll say, one disappointment, only disappointment really, I think, with the whole movie, for Everything Everywhere All at Once, is it's in the trailer as well. There's a shot where we're looking closely, like it's like a kind of a medium close shot of Michelle, and and it's just snapping through all the different variations of her through the multiverse. And for a flash, you see her as like an anime character, and I really wish that we saw a little bit more of that. Part of that's just bias as an animator, I think, myself. But I kind of thought there would have been room to see a bit more of that. Well, I don't know. Well, room's the wrong word because it is a long movie, but I would have been very down for that. That's the only complaint I have about the whole thing. Is Hell of a Boss the name of the series? Like, did they change the name of it, or? What brings you to our stream, Pugny? Are you a Moon Knight fan or just a drawing fan? Or are you actually somebody that we know? That happens sometimes too. Oh, thanks. Cool, cool. I actually forgot I was wearing this shirt, Billy. I specifically wore this today because me and the other mentors went to the final project class today to kind of introduce the streams, and I wanted to wanted to sell animation. Horse tune. There's some other notable thing to their credit, isn't there? The Has-Been Hotel guys. By the way, Mark, I'm not actually going to paint it black. I am going to use an extra thick Sharpie, which is going to burn the shit out of that Sharpie, and I might regret it, but I don't feel like dealing with the brush. Are you a drawer yourself, Pugny? A hobby? What kind of stuff do you like to draw? Do you like to do fan art and things as well, or just random things out of your head? Chronic doodler. Oh, cool. Speaking of everything, everywhere, all at once. Okay, cool. I've been known to dabble in a bit of fantasy myself. I actually have a comic called Combat Fairies, which is kind of an urban war fantasy kind of thing. Although the link that's on my Twitch page at the moment might be broken because of some weirdness that happened with Comixology. But if you're interested, you can Google it, check it out on Facebook. I actually do have it on Kindle now. I've been meaning to update that, but I'm trying to get it on another site because Kindle forced me to charge more than I want to. There was a whole thing. There was a lot of ranting going on recently about my comic because of some changes I made to Comixology. A lot of indie creators got pissed off at Comixology a couple months ago. So many pissed off creators. Combat Fairies. Upper left corner, actually, of the screen. See the logo there. Look at that. Thank you, Billy. Like I said, there's another site called Global Comics, which I think will be a bit of a cheaper price tag. So feel free to wait for that. But also feel free to not even buy it at all, Pugny. You can just Google, see some of the artwork. I don't like to do the hard salesman thing. It ain't me. I should be better at it. I think the reason I was kind of inking a bit more delicately with him, like I said, I think it's because I knew I was gonna have this poppy black on top, or poppy white on top of the black, and I think I just wanted everything to look clean as possible to highlight that contrast a bit more. Where do you hail from, Pugny? Me and the others that are in the chat are from Vancouver, Canada. Alright, now that I got a little bit of cushion. Try to fill the other areas with this. It looks a bit more streaky when you do it this way, though. Fine, we'll do it old school. The swirls avoid streaks. Fun fact. Necessary evil on the edges, though. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Not gonna lie, Billy, I've already thought of that. So I'm pretty sure I could make that happen. Thank you. The Sharpie fumes are starting to get to me, though. I might pass out before I'm done. I think Sharpies might throw off the fumes as a defense mechanism. Because I am killing the Sharpie right now. And it's like, no, stop. And it's like spraying me, like skunk style. I think the brush, like, I like using the brush. But it also, like, the paper gets all messed up. And it's like, that's a whole thing. I have some regrets. Part of me wishes I used the brush, but whatever. This is looking good. I'm almost done. Almost. And like I said, getting mildly high off the fumes. So that's cool. The thing with that is I could do that, but I would have to then draw everything in white ink, and I wouldn't be able to rough anything out. I'd have to just go straight to ink, and that's scary, Mark. That's something 16-year-old Dylan would do, but 37-year-old Dylan, not as brave. Maybe. This is pretty satisfying, though, to see this gradually get filled in. I am going to make a note of that idea, though, Mark. A possible thing I might do on stream in the future. Could be a ways away, but and maybe I'll have reason to do it even sooner than that. But there is a point when that might actually become particularly. It might be a good idea to write that down. Okay. God, they should have timed Moon Knight to launch with that. Which I guess depends on what part of the world you're in. Some of them. Maybe, yeah. Alright, guys. I think this just needs a signature. Question is, do I go gel pen white signature, or do I go ink it in the moon? I think we're gonna go the white signature. We're gonna do that. Okay. So there's a mixed bag of how well this thing works for that. Come on. Sign it so much slower when I use this thing. And my pen just died on me. Are you serious? One sec. I think I just picked up a bunch of black ink and that's why it... Come on. Really? I think I have another one. One sec. I have to do it now, or it's, well, I guess I could go over that with Sharpie if I had to. Yeah, here's another one. I got another one. Hopefully this one works. There we go. Oh, yeah. Look at that. How's that for satisfying? Oh. This one can just, that one just goes in the pile. The dead soldiers. All right, there we go. There's Moon Knight. And I'll be back on Thursday. Got something somewhat inspired by my recent trip to Mexico. And then yeah, I got another fan art off my own list, somewhat topical for next Tuesday. So you guys might already be able to guess what that is, but I'll drop a hint on the Discord. Anybody that's watching that's not on the Discord, feel free to join. The link is on the Twitch Twitch page in the About Me. And thank you, Pugny. Thank you, Billy. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night, and I'll see you next time.